Welcome back to the Kosi Arsenal podcast. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is your Arsenal starting 11 versus Liverpool. And I've never seen an Arsenal side that is so ridden with injuries. I think the last time our squad was ridden with injuries like this, it was way back in 2008. We're trying to win the Premier League against Manchester United. And all of a sudden, the team fell into absolute tatters with injuries. This time, it's a bit of a replica, but I would say it's even worse because when you look at the quality of the team that we have right now and you look at the injuries that we're suffering, Julian Timber is out, Ricardo Calafiori is out, Saliba is suspended, Saka is out, Odegaard is out as well. It is not looking very good in a game that, precedes the Bournemouth, fixture. After losing to Bournemouth, you thought Arsenal have to bounce back, and that's what you think. Arsenal have to bounce back. I mean, you can't lose 2 games in a row against Bournemouth and against Liverpool. And again, a draw is not enough, right? A draw means that Liverpool are still 4 points clear of us, but Manchester City would be going 5 points clear or 6 points clear of us. You don't want that. So it's a game that Arsenal must win by hook or crook. That's number one. But we do not have the resources. We do not have our players. So what I thought we'd do is run through a couple of players that are out and then look at the remaining, players, look at the remaining, pieces and try to piece together a starting 11. Mikel has been speaking about the possibility of Calafiori and Timber, and he says with Calafiori there is a little bit of hope, but it is highly unlikely. With Julian Timber, I'm not going to lie, he's not going to be present. I told you this season was always going to be difficult for him. He had a long season out last season. He suffered that bad ACL injury. He was never going to come back and be the same player we signed from Ajax. It's going to take him some time, probably the 3rd year of his contract or even the 4th year in his contract. So Calafiori, I said in the summer, we had that concern with Glenn about his injuries. And I remember Glenn, big up to you. I remember him saying if the medical team has done, further due diligence and they have done thorough due diligence on him, especially when it comes to injuries, then we should sign him. But all the signs looked and pointed at a player whose availability is really questionable. William Saliba, was it a red card? It was a red card. It was, he was the last man. Initially, the referee thought it was a yellow card, but it was overturned because the covering defender, who was Ben White at the moment, according to the VAR officials, was not going to intervene. So he was not going to cover. He was not going to get back into position, earlier enough. So Saliba misses this game, and that puts our defense in a very precarious situation, and that puts Mikel Arteta in a very precarious situation because against these big teams, his strategy has always been: can we grab 1 or 2 goals, sit back in shape, and defend vigorously? But for us to defend the way we've been defending, it comes from the fact that you have Calafiori on the pitch. It comes from the fact you have Timber, White, Saliba, Gabriel. You have options. Now, those options have been taken away. So it means we can't defend the way we want to defend, sit in a low block, sit in that, correct shape and just let Liverpool play. You can't allow them to do that because eventually they'll find a weakness in a Kivio somewhere. They'll find a weakness in an Alexander Zinchenko somewhere. Again, you cannot open up yourselves because if you do, they've got the quality to cut through you and punish you. That is the scare with this defense being out. So I want to know your thoughts. Left back, do we go with Zinchenko or Lewis Kelly? I think that's where the big contention is going to be. And then Kivio coming into centre back. Would you prefer to see Kivio in centre back, or would you prefer to see Ben White at centre back together with Gabriel and Partey shifting at right back? So let's get into it. I think in goal, we are still lucky that our main goalkeeper is still around. I mean, if Raya picked up an injury right now, our season better be over, right? So David Raya in goal again against Bournemouth. I don't think he had a good game. No, he didn't, right? He didn't have a good game. But the thing with David Raya and goalkeepers like David Raya, yes, they will fail to have a good game maybe once a week or twice, a month, but they're very reliable goalkeepers. As we go into this game, you get the flashbacks of the Shakhtar Donetsk game. Shakhtar should have equalized in that game, but Raya steps up, makes a very decent save, very clean save, and that's how we get the 3 points. So I expect him to be busy. I expect him to be on high alert. I don't think we are going to distribute as much as we would. It's Liverpool. Come on. So his biggest job is going to be finding that long ball into Kai Havertz and Mikel Merino, because those two are going to be very crucial to our game plan. But he's going to be the busier goalkeeper of the two on the evening. I think our firepower, even with Saka, around, even with Odegaard around, I remember saying our firepower looks like a fire that has been lit in the rain. And right now, I don't think we are a fire in the rain. I think we are a fireplace that has been hit by 10,000 rainy seasons. You just can't light us up. Now, in defense, obviously, that's where we've been most hit by injuries, and we've got to make a couple of changes. I think it's very, very clear where we have to put our focus. Mohamed Salah and Luis Diaz. That is where you've got to stop Liverpool. And they've done really, really well under the new manager. I think I would say they've had a much better season so far than Arsenal. There's no question about that. And a new manager, a couple of new changes, Ryan Gravenberch coming into the team, but they've really held on to well. But if you stop Salah and you can stop Luis Diaz, and in my opinion, with this Liverpool side under Ancelotti, if you can deal with Ryan Gravenberch, you can go somewhere when it comes to stopping them. So our back four, therefore, should have two very strong pillars at left back and right back. And that's why I'm going to make a very, very weird suggestion that Jakub Kiwior plays at left back and then Ben White plays at right back. And then at centre back, I think you could drop in maybe a Declan Rice, maybe you could drop in a Thomas Partey, but it can't go wrong at right back, and we can't get it wrong, at left back as well. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking right back, we keep Ben White there. It's a brave decision because White would do a much better job in terms of playing at centre back, covering for William Saliba. But I think he's the more established right back we have right now. The other option, if White shifts into centre back, the other option we have is to push a player like either Lewis Skelly out of position. That's a little bit dangerous. I wouldn't actually advocate for that. So I want Ben White to stay at right back regardless. Now, obviously, I've seen a few people say Kiwior should be playing at centre back, and I really, really, really love to see that. Of course, you have Zinchenko and you have Lewis Skelly, but I tell you, Zinchenko and Lewis Skelly, I would play none of them in this game. A game of this magnitude, a game of this importance. So for me, Kiwior starts at left back. He's played there before. Of course, he can be a little bit childish, and he can be a little bit naive and outdone by quality players like Salah, but I would still trust him in that position. So I'm going to go with Jakub Kiwior because I think Kiwior as a centre back, he's got that ability to deal with a player like Salah. He must have the ability to play there. So I've gone with him at left back. Now the two centre back positions, one of them is obviously taken by Gabriel, who has been captaining the team also some of the time, and you love to see it, by the way. He's been a real pillar in our team. So Gabriel, for me, drops in there. And instead of playing Partey at right back, this is what I would say. I don't know whether Mikel Arteta is brave enough to do this, but can we drop a player like Declan Rice at centre back? I mean, this is kind of weird, but it really makes a lot of sense. He's played there before for West Ham, prior, and also in the early in the early days of his career. But this is where I'm coming from. Declan Rice is one of the best winners of the ball, like in Europe. One of the best winners of the ball. Of course, it takes something very different for you to win the ball in midfield, and then to be a ball winner at centre back. Very different job descriptions, very different tasks. But I think Rice and his height, he's got the legs, he's got the height, he's got the skill to win the ball back, and the level of concentration he's got with a player like Partey in front of him, it would be a much better, fit to replace Saliba than bringing a player like Jakub Kiwior in that centre-back position. So I've gone with Rice and Gabriel at centre-back. Crazy, but hear me out. Rice can really deal with, the extra debris that comes from beating White, and Gabriel can deal with the extra debris that comes from, any player getting the better of Jakub Kiwior. Now, in midfield, we've had a couple of issues there, by the way. We've really had a couple of problems in midfield. Especially without Odegaard, Trossard had stepped in, right? But the problem with Leandro Trossard is that he's not that consistent performer when he starts games. Like, he doesn't give you that constant quality when he starts games. So this is what I'm gonna do. I think Partey is a no-brainer, and for me, Mikel Merino, by the way, doesn't play in this game. It's as simple as that. Mikel Merino, with his rubbish performances ever since he started playing for Arsenal, take a break. This is not your game. As simple as that. So Partey alongside Jorginho. This is what I would love to see. Because, again, against Liverpool, we are not coming to open up. We are not coming to, showcase talent. We are coming to be disciplined. And we're coming to sit in shape very well. So, for me, Jorginho and Partey would be my core midfielders. And I wouldn't change it. They would be my core midfielders. On the flanks, I think Gabriel Martinelli had a very good game midweek. The manager has trusted him, and I think he's coming back. And he's coming back at a time where we need individual brilliance. We need performance. And I think he's really done well. So I would play Martinelli on the left flank. And then obviously Leandro Trossard has to play in this game. He missed the penalty, has had a bad game here and there. But you've got to ask yourself a question with all this, with all this, who do you play? Now, I'm going to make another brave decision. I don't know whether Mikel Arteta would do this, but I would definitely do it. So, because Leandro Trossard plays better as a forward, I would move him on the front line. So, basically, this would be like, a 4-3-3, something like that. And then introduce Ethan NWANERI. And for me, I'm still asking questions. Why Mikel Arteta, as a manager, has not given Ethan NWANERI the trust that he actually deserves. So Martinelli and Trossard up top, Jorginho alongside Partey with Ethan NWANERI in there. And what I love about this lineup is, one, you're using all the midfield force you have. Declan Rice can step into midfield very well. And then you can have a midfield of 4, Rice, Partey, Jorginho, and NWANERI. But because Rice, Partey, and Jorginho are very defensive, it just allows you to have that extra player in Ethan NWANERI that has the freedom to go and create situations. And Mikel Arteta has got to be a little bit brave in this game. So NWANERI, for me, I would give him this game. And then obviously Kai Havertz, who should have taken the penalty midweek. I don't know why he didn't. Do not ask me that. But Trossard penalties, I don't trust them. I don't trust any Belgian player to take penalties. Like, I trust none. So this would be my starting 11 against Liverpool. It's not the best we can put out there. But this is you milking the extra quality from your team. The players I wouldn't want to really see in this game, Gabriel Jesus. I think Gabriel Jesus' time at Arsenal has, I don't think he has overstayed, but I think we overrated him. Really, I think we overrated him. I think we signed him as a player that had worked with the manager, and we all backed him because he had worked with the manager. Raheem Sterling, no way, no. Gabriel Jesus and Raheem Sterling, I don't have clear words to explain their performances so far. Are they gonna come good? I even don't think so, because the scare for me is that this season you have well-oiled machines that have already started, their turbo engines. And by the time you start your, I don't know even if I even don't know if you have a turbo engine. But by the time you start your engine, whether it's turbo or not, they've gone. So we can't wait for Jesus and Sterling to waste more games, as we need to catch up. And that's the problem I've had with Arsenal. Every single season, we have a bunch of players that we have to wait for to catch up. No. So Sterling and Gabriel Jesus for me, not this season. But let me know what you think about the starting 11. Is it one that you would, fancy? Is it one that you would have many questions about? Because I know many people are going to have big questions about this one.